In the heart of Chicago's South Side lies the Pullman neighborhood, a place of rich yet also controversial industrial pasts and symbols that shaped some of the labor movement in Chicago. The neighborhood was built in the 1880s by George Pullman, the founder of the Pullman Railway Company, known for its famous railway cars. Pullman planned for this community to feature well-constructed homes that housed his employees. His goal? To attract workers who shared his vision of American society.
The man was an entrepreneur and had a vision for building a town to centralize all of his operations for his railcar empire. And that led to, so there were a lot of labor issues happening in the country at that time, and he wanted to avoid all of those. And so with that, he created a town that would help keep his workers focused, and he wanted to attract the best workers.
But critics of Pullman say he charged his employees high rent, refused to allow them to freely express themselves, and can terminate their leases on 10 days' notice. Today, the Pullman District stands as Chicago's only national park recognized for its architectural preservation and the stories of the families who lived there through the decades. But how do we know about those who called Pullman their home? One DePaul project tried to find out. Last spring, students in the DePaul course Anthropology 390, Citizen Historians, embarked on a journey to bridge the gap between the past and the present. The class worked closely with the Historic Pullman Foundation and the Pullman National Historic Park. These students set out to attach names and stories to the historic homes in this community.
So I came up with the idea of citizen historian and how can individuals help us learn about history and take things out of archives and make them public. And so it seemed like a great possibility. I've worked in Pullman for a long time. I have a really strong community partner there in Andrew Bullen and the Historic Pullman Foundation. And it just seemed like a way to test out this idea that I was surprised to find historians don't seem to have tried in other places.
Supported by the Stain Center Fellowship, students paired up with Pullman residents, digging through historical archives, census data, and city directories to trace the lineage of 8 homes from the 1880s to the 1950s. Their research brought to light the diverse lives that shaped the neighborhood over the years.
I think a lot of times, DePaul is no stranger to community work. It's one of the things we do really, really well. But rarely do we pair people one-on-one and say, go make a change, go make a project, go do something happen. And I wanted to have them explore that opportunity.
The findings from this project were showcased at the Pullman National Historic Park's Visitor Center and are now bringing stories to a wider audience on the Pullman Museum website.
It was really incredible to see community members learning things about their neighborhood and about their own houses that they'd been living in for, maybe several years. Maybe they'd just been there for, a few months. But to see everyone learning together and working with the students, it was really incredible. We learned a lot from the students. I hope that they learned some stuff from us.
Professor Baxter and her students are now taking the citizen historian concept beyond Pullman, sharing their how-to guide for researching historic homes, and advocating for engaging and accessible public history. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Michaela Wilson.